1 week from the start of their season, the Madison Mallards are cutting ties with a fast food chain, while they're backing out of a planned event with Chick-fil-A.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, May 22nd. Can you feel it yet?
No.
Not yet.
It's still cold in the studio.
It is a little chilly in here. Still a little drippy outside this morning as well, but it's
Love that word.
It's coming. The sunshine is coming, warmer temperatures as well. Let's take a look at our view from the WISC-TV sky cam. It is a little cloudy. We have some drizzle here right now, but skies will clear from south to north today, so improving weather conditions. The rain has already moved out of the region. Drizzle is just too light to be detected by radar. In case you need some proof, here's the probability of precipitation today. Pretty low, if not zero, as we head through the afternoon. So nice weather headed our way this afternoon with highs climbing through the 50s and 60s to the upper 70s. Strong south winds are expected. Here's a look at your traffic alert early today. We haven't had any issues just yet, and it looks like that trend continues. We are starting to see a little bit of congestion form on Stoughton Road right around the Beltline, but nothing major right now. No accidents reports. You're still heading at posted speeds into Madison.
I love when we can start a morning and be like, it's only going to get better, rather than like, oh my gosh, it's going to get worse.
Like yesterday, it stayed the same.
Yes.
I know. Yesterday we didn't go anywhere temperature-wise, but today we'll actually climb. It'll feel more like May today.
We're all about the climb. All right, Hetty, thank you.
You're welcome.
We start our 6 o'clock hour this morning in Washington, where Wisconsin Representative Mark Pocan is joining 25 other Democrats who are calling for President Trump to be impeached. This comes after former White House counsel Don McGahn failed to show up to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee yesterday. The Trump administration encouraged McGahn to skip, citing executive privilege. On Twitter, Pocan said, quote, "Stonewalling Congress enhances the appearance of guilt." Meanwhile, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has resisted those calls for impeachment.
Madison will hold a pro-abortion rights rally tomorrow after hundreds of other protests took place across the country yesterday. Demonstrators denounced new state laws restricting abortion and vowed to remember the politicians responsible in the next election. This year, 8 states have passed laws limiting abortion rights. 5 have passed so-called heartbeat bills that ban the procedure after 6 to 8 weeks of pregnancy. None of the new abortion laws have taken effect yet, and many legal experts doubt that will ever happen, barring an intervention by the Supreme Court. There were no rallies here in Madison yesterday, but Governor Evers says he will veto all 4 anti-abortion proposals that pass the state assembly if they land on his desk. Evers said in a tweet, quote, "We shouldn't be limiting the right for women to make their own health care decisions. The Senate should take up the proposals sometime in June."
Looking ahead now, you could soon have your spotted cow delivered straight to your house under a new proposal at the state capitol this morning. The Wisconsin Home Delivery Act would allow you to buy alcohol through an app and have it delivered to your front door or even your office. Anyone who delivers alcohol would have to be at least 21, and they would have to check IDs and electronically verify that the people ordering the alcohol are also of age. Payment would be required ahead of time. Deliveries would only be made during store hours. A local liquor store says there would still be a lot of questions to answer if this were to pass.
Whether we be doing something online or whether we be using an app, does that interface well with the system we already have, or would we have to make changes to that as well? It's just, I don't think it's something that we could just flip a switch and say, let's go live and make it happen.
This is all about the customer, because those dollars are just shifting from bricks and mortar to online. So it's not necessarily a growth, but this is what the customer wants, because it's all about convenience.
Yet another proposal at the Capitol would allow you to buy beer, wine, and liquor and pick it up curbside at a grocery store, like you might already be doing with your groceries. Those bills are still in their early stages. They'll be formally introduced over the next couple of weeks.
The Madison Mallards are cutting ties with Chick-fil-A after a planned event between the two companies got negative feedback. The Mallards and Chick-fil-A were planning an upcoming ballpark promotion, but it was canceled after the idea drew criticism. Chick-fil-A has gotten attention in the past for its support of anti-LGBTQ groups. The Mallards cited misaligned values between the two companies as a reason for that split, apologizing for any harm the partnership may have caused. Now we're hearing from Madison's Chick-fil-A restaurant. The owner of the local Chick-fil-A on the east side writes in a statement, quote, "I pride myself on building an experience focused on inclusion. My team represents many diverse viewpoints, opinions, backgrounds, and beliefs, and we work hard to provide a welcoming place for everyone.
A Sauk County woman says she's at risk of losing her lakefront property as the lake's owner is threatening to drain the water if no one buys it. Nikki Weigel purchased her home on Lake Delona, just southwest of Lake Delton, about 6 months ago. Shortly after, she was contacted by the realty company who'd listed the home and was told the owner of the lake had a pattern of trying to bully new residents into buying it. She said before that call, she hadn't been told the lake was owned privately. That owner, Jim Moritz, is selling the lake and surrounding 9 acres of property for nearly $300,000. Now he's letting water drain out of the lake through a dam into nearby Mirror Lake.
My neighbor texted me and said, "Is something going on with the dam? The water's kind of low." And we went down and it had gone down about a foot.
Now, Nikki says she first noticed the draining back in April, but because the lake is privately owned, she says local officials won't do anything about it. Nikki can't afford to buy the lake, and the owner won't sell off just parts of the land. That owner, Jim Moritz, declined to comment for this story. The DNR is monitoring the situation and does have authority of the dam.
All right, 6:06 right now on a Wednesday morning. Research shows food allergies are on the rise, and while they're more common in children, it is possible to develop one as an adult as well.
But trying to figure out what you're allergic to can be tricky, and food insensitivities or intolerances are just a whole nother story. Our Christina Laurie has some advice for us this morning. Hi, Christina.
Good morning, guys. This is a growing problem that a lot of parents might be noticing among their kids. They're finding that a growing number of kids are having food allergies, and if they are food allergies, you'll notice an immune system response like hives, an itchy mouth, or even anaphylaxis on the extreme end of the spectrum. It's your body reacting against a certain protein in that food. On the other hand, food sensitivities or intolerances tend to cause digestive issues like cramping or nausea. To figure out what food you're sensitive to, registered dietitian Emmy Bodden doesn't recommend self-diagnosis or at-home testing.
What they can do is provide either a false positive on a food that you're not intolerant to or don't have an issue with. They could promote unnecessary restriction of foods in the diet that you can actually, tolerate well.
Instead, Bodden recommends seeing a dietitian and going over a detailed history of your eating patterns. If you suspect a food allergy, she says it's best to see a board-certified allergist for testing. We'll talk more about what can make life easier for those dealing with these allergies and what else they should know ahead in the next half hour of our show.
I mean, it's hard enough having to feed your kids anyways and getting them the right stuff, but obviously this adds a whole nother list of things to do.
Yeah, and we have a whole list up on our website, channel3000.com, about 8 different things people with allergies should know. So that's a good read you can do between now and 6:30.
Very helpful.
Some easy stuff. All right, Christina, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, 6:08 your time now. I think we're all ready for it to actually start feeling like it's May. The weather hasn't really cooperated, but at least it hasn't been snowing. Doesn't look like this.
Oh my.
Like it does out in Colorado. That's not stopping one woman from rocking her flip-flops though. Is that what I just saw?
No way. All right, luckily things are looking much better. I'm getting
boy.
a lot of head nods in here. Things are looking better here in Madison. It'll be breezy today, but about 20 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. Hooray! Patty's in next with your first alert forecast. Keep watching News 3 Now This Morning.
Snow way.
Good morning from the patio. If you look outside right now, you may think not a whole lot has changed since this time yesterday. Still pretty cloudy. We have a little bit of drizzle lingering across southern Wisconsin, and temperatures are in the low 50s. That's where we stayed all day yesterday. It was a windy and chilly day for late May, with official highs here in Madison only at 54 degrees. Big improvement, though, expected today. We did have some rain overnight, and everyone picked up at least some rain overnight. Most spots between 1/4 and 1/2 inch, but there were some higher amounts, especially west of Madison, even up towards the Dells. So some spots did pick up 3/4 to 1 inch of rain. Now, the forecast today calls for drying conditions. No rain showing up on the radar map, although we do still have some drizzle here in Madison and elsewhere across southern Wisconsin. All the moisture is lifting to the north and east. That little batch of rain in northeast central Iowa is lifting almost due north, so I'm not expecting it to move into our area today. Skies will actually clear from south to north as we head towards the lunch hour. Take a look at temperatures. We are technically warming, up now to 51 here in Madison. It is significantly warmer to the south, though. 60 in Moline, 56 in Des Moines. We have 49, though, in Minneapolis and 40 in Superior. Here's a closer look at temperatures across the southern part of our state. Warmest to the south, 54 in Janesville, 53 in Platteville and Prairie du Chien, 49 still in the Dells, and 48 in Camp Douglas. Temperatures are expected to warm pretty quickly today. Winds have shifted to the southeast, and they are fairly strong this morning. They'll stay strong through the day, and by lunchtime, they'll be from the south. So that will really start to warm us up this afternoon. Southerly winds around 15 to 25 miles per hour are expected through the rest of the day today. We're looking at temperatures responding to that warmth as well. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. Cloudy skies this morning, but watch what happens by lunchtime today. Clearing skies for the area. We'll see lots of sunshine this afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Pretty nice through the evening hours. A nice change from yesterday, that is. Temperatures will be about 20 degrees warmer. There is a chance for some rain overnight tonight, especially south and east of Madison. It's a pretty short duration on that rain, though. We're back to sunshine on Thursday. Your extended forecast has temperatures at least staying in the 70s. We do have one alert day in the forecast on Friday. There is a small risk for severe storms. We'll keep our eye on it as that system continues to develop. Otherwise, pretty nice conditions setting up for this upcoming holiday weekend. A few chances for rain here and there, but lots of dry weather in between as well. Let's get a look at our traffic maps this morning. We'll send it over to Josh Tim with all the details.
Hi, a foggy, rainy mix this morning, making it difficult to see. So just a reminder, have those headlights on when you head out the door. So far, really nothing major to slow you down on the Beltline. Things are moving well heading east and westbound. The roads here in Dane County not looking too bad at the moment. There are a few brake lights on Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline ramps. No delays showing up downtown around campus. Volume is not an issue at this point. And other main routes coming into the city still cruising at the usual speeds. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
All right. Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. 6:14 your time now. Yesterday morning, we were saying the weather could always be worse, right? Well, case in point, it snowed. It snowed in parts of Colorado.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can believe it after this season. Take a look at this video. This is in Kiowa, Colorado. That's about an hour outside of Denver. They got several inches of snow yesterday, which meant shoveling sidewalks just a few days before Memorial Day weekend. But one woman wasn't going to let the snow dampen her mood. She was out shoveling in flip-flops.
What?
I live in my flip-flops. I wear nothing but flip-flops year-round. Even shoveling snow.
I love this lady.
That's the spirit.
Parts of Colorado saw anywhere between a light dusting to more than a foot. Yes, a foot of spring snow.
We're acting so surprised, but this could easily be us.
This could easily be us, and that wouldn't surprise me if I saw people in flip-flops here. I'd probably be one of them. My parents used to always give me a hard time because I'd like walk out to the garage with flip-flops on, and usually I would slip on the ice and fall on my hiney, but...
Well, as a show of faith, I put away a lot of my winter boots. Maybe that was a mistake.
Let's just not even talk about that.
Nope, we're done.
We're moving on. All right. Well, it'll have to be Bucks in 6 or maybe even in 7 now that the Eastern Conference Finals are tied at 2 games apiece.
The Bucks dropped Game 4 to the Raptors in Toronto last night, 120-102. The Raptors had a 10-point lead at halftime and never looked back. The play of the night might have been this next one. Raptors star Kawhi Leonard dunking on Giannis. You're about to see this painful move. There you go. The Greek Freak scored 25 points and had 10 rebounds. We even have it in slow motion. Oh, that's painful. while Chris Middleton added 30 points in the loss. Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer said after the game they have a lot to work on, but he's confident heading back home.
When you get beat the way we did tonight, you know, you can turn the page, flush it, whatever term you want to use to some degree, and just get ready for the next game. And we got punched. You know, they played really well. And so in that sense, you know, can we go home and get ready for another battle and be ready to go? I totally believe in Game 5 we'll be ready.
All right, the series heads back to Milwaukee for Game 5 tomorrow night. Tip-off is at 7:30.
I guess they're going to fight to the end, though, right?
Bucks in 6. Bucks in 6.
You just love saying that.
I do. I love it.
All right, coming up, you have a chance to help those in need here in Madison, especially now that the end of the school year is right around the corner. How you can help out as part of our Hunger Heroes push happening tomorrow.
And Hattie's kids can shed the winter jacket she had them wear yesterday to school. That's because she has highs approaching 80 coming up in your bus stop forecast, only on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back on your Wednesday. We are spending an inordinate amount of time in the morning always tracking the polar bears. Oh, it looks like we found one.
And he's gone.
Oh, Baron.
Man, they're quick. You can't zoom in
There
too
he
much
is
on
again.
them.
He's hungry. He's looking for his breakfast.
Maybe he'll play in the water today.
Oh, buddy.
He might be a little upset with the forecast.
Yeah.
We are warming up. The rest of us are extremely happy, but he may be a little too hot today.
Not polar bear weather.
No, not so much. But if you want to head out to the zoo later on this afternoon, it'd be a perfect day for it. This morning, a little drizzly across southern Wisconsin. We're looking at pretty cloudy conditions in Platteville from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Here's a look at the radar map. All of the rain has come to an end. It is well off to the north and east. What's not showing up here in Madison and elsewhere across southern Wisconsin is a little bit of drizzle that's still occurring. So if you're just headed out the door, still damp. Temperatures are already climbing, though. When I came into work, we were in the 40s. Now at 51 here in Madison, 54 in Janesville, 53 in Platteville, still 49, though, in the Dells. Warm air will continue to move into the area from the south today. So as you get the kids ready to head to the bus stop, still a little cloudy and cool this morning. A nice warm up, though. You won't need that jacket this afternoon with sunshine and temperatures in the middle 70s. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hetty, thank you so much. It is 6:22, and we're not just excited for all of that sunshine. We're also super duper excited for our big Hunger Heroes telethon tomorrow in partnership with the Goodman Community Center.
This is really a great initiative. The organization provides about 12,000 meals every summer during some of their busiest months of the year. The food pantry alone sees a 15% increase when kids are out of school and families need more help filling their pantry. Paul Ketterer has been a volunteer there for years, and he says he sees up to 8 new people needing more help every week.
Most of our recipients tend to come only when they need it. They're very conscious of sharing with others, but some, obviously, this is their only source of food.
About 150 families rely on the food pantry at Goodman on a weekly basis. If you'd like to do your part to help, our Hunger Heroes telethon takes place tomorrow. All you have to do is call 608-274-4000 and make a donation. There are also items you can drop off at Goodman, things like cereal, spaghetti and sauce, peanut butter and jelly, and granola bars. We have that full list up on channel3000.com.
We've learned this is so incredibly important, right? Because we always talk about this big around the holidays, but the summer is also probably a little bit harder because it's a longer period of time where these kids go without a lunchtime meal.
You forget that they rely on that one reliable certain meal at school once a day. Without that, families really struggle.
And we already know that our community always steps up big.
They will.
This will be a fun initiative tomorrow. So if you've driven on Verona Road during this massive construction project, you know there are plenty of headaches trying to get through that area.
Oh yeah, the DOT is hoping to solve one of those with the change happening today you are going to be happy to hear about. We'll tell you more on that and check your first alert traffic as you head out the door on this Wednesday. That's next on News 3 Now this morning.
Right now, more kids than ever before are being diagnosed with food allergies. We'll take a look at why and what you can do to make sure your kids are safe.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this May 22nd. And we're a little bit more in better spirits today because we finally have some better weather on the way.
A lot better weather. We are talking about a 20-degree difference from yesterday. We should have taken bets on when Hattie would be able to take off her scarf this late into May. Is it tomorrow, Hattie?
Maybe tomorrow. Yes, I am hopeful. I am just as tired as the next person of these cool temperatures. Still a little chilly outside this morning. You'll at least want long sleeves or a light jacket as you head out the door, but an improving weather situation today. A live look from the Edgewater Sky Cam isn't quite as drizzly this morning. Still a lot of low clouds in the area. Looks like the drizzle has come to an end here on the west side as well. Doppler track showing you that we have rain around us. That rain in Minnesota will lift north, so it's not expected to impact us here in southern Wisconsin. The rain has already come to an end for us. Just to prove that fact, here's the probability of precipitation. It goes down to pretty much zero as we head towards the afternoon. So dry weather is expected. We are expected to clear out as well. Our forecast as you head out the door this morning calls for temperatures to climb quickly with skies turning partly sunny. We'll be in the mid and upper 70s later on this afternoon. So that jacket that you grab early today, you'll be carrying it later on. Here's a look at your First Alert traffic maps this morning. So far, so good. There is a little bit of congestion on Park Street in and out of the downtown area. Otherwise, no major delays on the Beltline just yet. A little slow on Verona Road as you approach the Beltline, though, through that construction zone, of course. You're adding just an extra minute right now.
So you're hoping to shed the scarf and also those leg warmers too, right, Hads?
Yeah, I am ready to break out the spring and summer clothes.
It is about time.
Yeah, overdue.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, speaking of your morning commute, we have a First Alert traffic note we think you'll be pretty happy to hear about. Starting today, the DOT is changing traffic signal times and patterns over on Verona Road to help cut down on long waits at intersections there. If you are like me and you've gotten stuck at the lights at Verona Road and PD, chances are you've had to wait almost 10 minutes to get through that intersection. Well, to fix that, the DOT is restricting turns at the nearby intersection of County PD and Capic roads. The goal is to help prevent people from getting stuck in the middle of that intersection when the lights change and cut down on traffic backups.
Some Rock County residents are concerned as illegal dumping continues in the town of Beloit. Many on the town's west side say they've seen couches, mattresses, tires, even an entire bathroom set dumped along the road over the past few months. The town's director of public works says dumping is more common, especially around this time of year. He says he thinks people are coming from out of town to do it, and that the situation really boils down to a matter of respect.
I, for one, would never want my trash in somebody else's yard. It's about the environment and trying to maintain the beautiful area that we have.
In the town of Beloit, an illegal dumping fine could cost you up to $1,000.
Kids here in Madison will soon have a new place for performing arts, thanks to a $1 million grant and millions more from the community.
Go. Yeah, what a difference when you...
The Madison Community Foundation announced a combined $1 million grant with the EVU Foundation to fund a new Madison Youth Arts Center. That's set for East Mifflin Street, right across from Tenny Lapham School. They have hired a diversity consultant to make sure the space will be inclusive and welcoming to all abilities.
It's been magnificent, and honestly, I think if we would have built it before now, we wouldn't have been as sophisticated as we are in terms of the design and the process and how they've gone about it. So they're really to be applauded.
Upwards of 25,000 local kids will be able to use this space. In addition to the grant announced last night, philanthropists Pleasant Rowland and Jerry Frauci pledged $20 million more to the project. It is set to open in fall of 2020.
We are tracking the latest this morning on a salmonella outbreak right here in Wisconsin. The State Department of Health Services is warning people about a multi-state salmonella outbreak linked to a certain Del Monte vegetable tray containing broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, and dill dip. So far, there have been 3 cases reported in Wisconsin and 1 in Minnesota. In these cases, the trays were sold at Quick Trip stores, but they are also sold elsewhere. Quick Trip has since removed all of the trays from the stores as this outbreak is ongoing. 6:32 right now. If you have a child with a food allergy or deal with one yourself, you know how tricky it can be to manage.
Oh yeah, right around 32 million Americans have food allergies, and there's research showing that number is going up. Our Christina Laurie is here this morning to tell us how we can deal with them. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, guys. So experts say they're not entirely sure why research is showing an increase in food allergies, but it could have to do with a changing food system or a better ability to detect those allergies. Either way, having one can range from being annoying to potentially deadly. Registered dietitian Emmy Bodden says whether you discover your child has an allergy or you develop a new one as an adult, it can be a tough transition to make. Learning how to read food and supplement labels is critical. With food allergies becoming more common, it will also be important for restaurants to make food allergen lists readily available and for general practitioners to provide patients with appropriate resources to navigate having a food allergy, both things that are already being done.
If you think about how important food is, in our lives, to our families, to our cultures, and having that be something that is a scary thing for someone to interact with, there's definitely that emotional component to it.
Children with a food allergy are more likely to have other allergies, such as asthma, according to the organization Food Allergy Research and Education. If you suspect a food allergy, Bodden recommends avoiding self-diagnosis like we often do and going to see a board-certified allergist. I know it's one of those things, you go to WebMD and Google your symptoms, but you don't want to eliminate food from your diet if you don't really have a problem.
I think the silver lining to this uptick and what we're seeing is just the fact that people are paying more attention to what they're putting in their bodies.
And restaurants are already being accommodating. If you see, a lot of restaurants have gluten-free menus or nut-sensitive menus. It's nice to make everyone feel like they don't have to miss out on life.
And for anybody with allergies, you have some tips up on our website, right?
Yes, channel3000.com.
All right, Christina Laurie reporting for us this morning. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, guys.
All right, it is 6:34 right now, and just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, a portion of Sherman Avenue is closed this morning due to a water main break. Northbound lanes between Boyd and Slimgen are being rerouted right now. We'll have those details online.
And people can't seem to stop talking about the series finale of Game of Thrones, even if you're like Josh and aren't a huge fan of the series. Kind of an understatement there. It's been pretty hard to miss. There are tons of opinions on how the show ended, including one from a certain Packers quarterback. We'll share what number 12 had to say up next on News 3 Now this morning. All right, Josh, another day, another gorgeous sunrise from my hometown of Highland. This one's from my friend Maria. She sent this to me via Facebook yesterday.
Oh my gosh, those colors are fantastic.
It is almost unbelievable, isn't it?
It really is. We had so many pictures come in. It was so cool to see from across the viewing area yesterday.
We did. All of southern Wisconsin really was just stunning yesterday. Thank you so much for sharing, Maria. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it on Facebook or on Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning so Josh and I can find and share our favorites right here on the program.
So more than 19 million people watched the series finale of Game of Thrones earlier this week, and plenty of them were less than pleased with the way the show ended.
I was one of them. It was okay. It was okay, folks. But Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers had plenty of thoughts about it and who should have ended up on the throne. Now, we know a lot of people haven't seen it yet, so I won't spoil it, I promise, but Rodgers spent a good 3 minutes after practice yesterday going off on the writing for this past season.
Look, I love the opportunity to be in the show, which most people probably don't think I was, but I was there. I love the show, but, you know, the writers were also doing Star Wars, so I think they might have been a little busy this last season.
Okay, so like Rodgers mentioned, he did make that cameo in the series' second to last episode, but he says he wasn't the guy who got burned alive, like a lot of people thought. He joked we all should have been able to tell based on the way that actor was running.
I'm just glad that this is over.
Josh is not a fan at all. A lot of people are sort of sick of it. I have to say, I was so emotionally involved in this. It was exhausting. I was ready for it to be done as well.
It's amazing, like you said. I mean, you got into it. You would stay up past your bedtime just so you could watch it.
Oh yeah, way past my bedtime, by the way. And it was a thriller. I'll say that. It wasn't bad.
Until you were tired the next day.
I know. Poor Josh had to deal with me the next day. I appreciate it.
We're done with it at least, though. All right, 6:40 is your time this morning. So it sort of felt like football season outside yesterday, but it'll finally start feeling more like May later today. Hattie has more than a 20-degree jump in our temperatures.
Woo!
20 degrees, that's going to be amazing. That's coming up in our first solar forecast.
But first, it's May 22nd. We want to say happy birthday to Ruby and all the kids turning 3 today. Thanks so much for celebrating with us here on News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back at 6:43. Probably breakfast time for you at home and breakfast time for the polar bears too. They're waiting.
That's the only thing he has to look forward to today because he's not going to like the heat wave we're about to see.
Yeah, unlike us, we're going to love that.
Oh yeah, Hattie's got the details coming up in just a couple of minutes.
This morning, we want to take time to introduce you to a Madison tattoo artist that will soon be known across the country.
Putting Madison on the map, Janelle Hansen works at the Iron Quill on the west side and will be starring in the show Ink Master on Paramount Network. Janelle says she knew she wanted to be a tattoo artist back in middle school when she would take her drawings to tattoo parlors and ask if she could be an apprentice. After years of rejection, she finally landed a job. She started working on posting her work on Instagram, and eventually the right people saw. She says this entire journey of failures and triumphs has been a whirlwind adventure.
Start in 8th grade with pursuing this dream of being a tattoo artist, and now I'm here. Just filmed a TV show of this industry. It's mind-blowing. You know, it just shows that perseverance and never giving up on your dream. It can happen. Like, you can make it happen if you put in the hard work, if you just don't take no for an answer.
Great message there. If you would like to watch Janelle's journey, the season premieres on Tuesday, June 11th on the Paramount Network.
This is so cool. Just another local person that's putting Madison even more on the map than it already is.
Very impressive. Good luck to her.
Yeah, hopefully she makes us proud. And the other person making us proud this morning, Miss Hattie McLean, with a little sunshine returning to the forecast and some heat. Can I say that?
Ooh.
I think you can. I'm using the word warmer in the forecast today. Finally, I don't have to be in the witness protection program. The forecast is shaping up. Still kind of a cloudy, dreary start this morning as you look from the Edgewater sky cam. But take a look back 1 year ago. We were about to heat things up quite a bit across southern Wisconsin. You may remember last Memorial Holiday weekend, it got quite warm around here. The high temperatures last year are in yellow. You can see in the 90s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, when we're talking about a warm up this year, it's nothing as significant as that. Temperatures will stay a little bit closer to normal. Normal is always good. 76 for a high on Friday and Saturday, then dropping into the low 70s for Sunday and Monday, but those are pretty comfortable conditions. We're not talking humidity or anything like that this Memorial Holiday weekend. We are talking the potential for a little bit of rain. As you know, this time of the year, pretty tough to get 4 days in a row with dry weather. Here's Friday morning, some rain moving into southern Wisconsin, and we'll likely see a couple of rounds of rain possible through the day on Friday. During the afternoon and evening, there could be some thunderstorm activity, so we'll watch that. An alert day is in the forecast for Friday due to that potential. By Saturday morning, that rain will be moving out of the area. The rest of the day on Saturday looks very nice with warm conditions once again, 70s, possibly even low 80s. Now, a front sets up to our south right across northern Illinois. That'll be the focus for some rain. We'll be close to that front, so there will be chances for rain here and there, but plenty of dry weather in between. Turns a little bit more unsettled then as we head late Monday into Tuesday of next week. But again, just a cloudy start this morning, some drizzle lingering for southern Wisconsin. It's not showing up on the radar map at all. In fact, we'll zoom the map out so you can see that the rain has shifted off to the north and east, drying out here across southern Wisconsin. This batch of rain in Minnesota will likely lift to the north and east, so it may impact northwestern Wisconsin. We won't see any of that rain, though, here in the southern part of the state. Take a look at these milder temperatures. Moline is at 60 degrees this morning. 58 in Waterloo, Des Moines is at 56, even 55 in Austin, Minnesota, Minneapolis now at 50 degrees. So some warmer air already starting to move into the region. Southern Wisconsin, generally in the 50s right now with a southeasterly wind, 15 to about 20 miles an hour. As we go through the morning, that wind will shift to the south. So by lunchtime, it's about a 20-mile-an-hour southerly wind, and that will continue through the rest of the afternoon into the evening. So east-west roads, especially the interstate between Madison and Milwaukee, may be impacted by those stronger winds later today. Your future track forecast model, though, doing a pretty good job clearing the rain out this morning, keeping clouds in here, though, for the start of the day. Improving weather conditions. By the lunch hour, you can see those southerly winds pulling in the warmer air and drying things out as well. Skies will clear from south to north today. So look for a lot of sunshine this afternoon with mid to upper 70s. Staying pretty quiet weather-wise through the evening hours. No rain in our forecast until overnight tonight, especially mainly just southeast of Madison. A pretty short window for that rain. We clear things out already by tomorrow morning. So here's a look at that extended forecast. Temperatures will stay in the 70s through the holiday weekend. As I mentioned, an alert day in the forecast for Friday. There's a small risk for severe storms. Otherwise, lots of dry weather as we head into the upcoming holiday weekend. Here's a look at our pet walk forecast. Maggie, she's ready to go, got the leash on. Today would be a great day for a walk, especially if you can wait till this afternoon.
I am right there with Maggie on that.
It's a really nicely coiffed mustache.
Isn't it though?
Well, she gets her hair done every now and then.
Love it.
Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning. It is 6:51, time now for the Morning Sprint as our team gets your Wednesday started off right.
Hattie has a big warm-up in store for us today, but we start in Washington this morning, where Representative Mark Pocan is one of 25 Democrats now calling for President Trump to be impeached. This comes after former White House counsel Don McGahn failed to show up to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee yesterday. He was encouraged to skip the hearing by Trump administration officials who cited executive privilege. On Twitter, Pocan said, quote, "Stonewalling Congress enhances the appearance of guilt." House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has resisted calls for impeachment.
Madison will hold a pro-abortion rights rally tomorrow after hundreds of protests took place across the country yesterday. Demonstrators denounced new state laws restricting abortion and vowed to remember the politicians responsible in the next election. This year, 8 states have passed laws limiting abortion rights. 5 have passed so-called heartbeat bills that ban the procedure after 6 to 8 weeks of pregnancy.
Wisconsin's Attorney General is now seeking to block a new federal rule to allow clinicians to object to abortions in some cases. The rule would enable healthcare clinicians to opt out of providing abortions and other services that conflict with their beliefs. Attorney General Josh Kaul said in a release Tuesday the federal government should not be making access to care more difficult. Nearly 24 states and municipalities filed the lawsuit yesterday in federal court in Manhattan. That rule is set to take effect in July.
You could soon have your spotted cow delivered straight to your house under a new proposal at the state capitol. The Wisconsin Home Delivery Act would allow you to buy alcohol through an app and have it delivered to your front door or your office. Anyone who delivers the alcohol would have to be at least 21 and would have to check IDs and electronically verify that the people ordering the alcohol are also of age. Payment would be required ahead of time. Deliveries could only be made during store hours.
Out of the area, but drizzle and low clouds linger for southern Wisconsin. Will dry out though from south to north today with a strong southerly wind. Temperatures are expected to climb quickly this morning from the 50s through the 60s back to a high of 77 degrees later on this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Hattie. The Madison Mallards are cutting ties with Chick-fil-A after some negative feedback online. The two were planning a promotion at the ballpark this year, but the announcement got a lot of negative comments. Chick-fil-A has been criticized in the past for its support of anti-LGBTQ groups. The Mallards say they're ending that relationship because their values don't match up. The owner of the Chick-fil-A on Madison's east side says she prides herself on inclusion and diversity to help create a welcoming experience for everyone.
Wisconsin home sales aren't selling like they were this time last year. A new report from the Wisconsin Realtors Association says in April, home sales were down 9.7% from last year at this time. This comes as median home prices climb. Average prices were up 8.3% to $195,000 in the past year. Experts say the lower sales and higher prices are due to fewer homes being on the market. Wisconsin has been a seller's market now for nearly 2 years.
You'll want to check your fridge this morning for a veggie tray being linked to a salmonella outbreak. The State Department of Health Services says the Del Monte vegetable tray with broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, and dill dip caused at least 3 people here in Wisconsin to get sick. The trays were sold at Quick Trip, but they're also available at other stores. Quick Trip has since removed all of those trays from their locations.
May is Food Allergy Awareness Month, and research suggests allergies are on the rise. While kids are more likely to have food allergies, adults can develop them too. Experts aren't entirely sure why research is showing an increase in food allergies, but it could have to do with a changing food system or the ability to better detect them. Food allergies prompt an immune system response like itchiness or hives, while food intolerances present themselves with digestive issues. To determine whether you have an allergy or intolerance, it's best to see a dietitian or a board-certified allergist.
Thank you so much, Christina. The Eastern Conference Finals are now tied at 2 games apiece after the Toronto Raptors blew out the Bucks last night, 120-102. The Greek Freak scored 25 points and had 10 rebounds, and Chris Middleton added 30, but it wasn't enough for the Bucks. Game 5 will be in Milwaukee tomorrow night.
There's some good news if your commute takes you through the area of Verona Road and County PD. Starting today, the DOT is changing traffic signal times and patterns there to cut down on some long wait times at the intersection. They're restricting turns at the nearby intersection of County PD and Capac roads in an effort to prevent people from getting stuck for several minutes at that intersection.
All right, 6:56 your time now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at the rest of your First Alert traffic. Hey there, Josh.
Hi guys, just a heads up, a water main break on Sherman Avenue near Shabazz High School causing some issues this morning, closing the northbound lanes. Traffic is definitely being rerouted, so if you can, I would avoid that area. Westbound Beltline you're picking up between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. It's going to add a couple minutes to your drive time. Inbound John Nolan starting to tap the brakes at Olin Avenue and North Shore Drive intersection. And other main routes coming into the city, they're cruising at the usual speeds with no crashes or delays. Your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Still a great start to this Wednesday morning, but we'll end with some sunshine today. Take a live look from the Henry Viles Zoo Sky Cam. Oh, polar bear was. Oh, he's there, just out of frame. But playing in the pool this morning. Maybe some more people thinking about heading to the pool with warmer temperatures in the forecast. Our highs today will reach 77 degrees later on this afternoon. So good stuff headed our way today. Here's a look at that day planner. Look for clearing skies, high 77.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Make it a wonderful day, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.